Kevin, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate the time. How are you today?
Great, thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Likewise. Congratulations on your, I guess, directorial debut with 22 versus Earth. How is that after your long journey with Pixar?
It's great. I mean, I feel very fortunate I got the chance to do it. And yeah, it's sort of a nice cap on working all these years with Pete.
Yeah, it's an understatement since you've been working with them since I think about 2000. You can correct me if I'm wrong at any point. You've worked on such hit films, Finding Nemo, Cars, Wall-E, Up, Inside Out, and then most recently Soul. What kind of creative minds are over at Pixar that are constantly bringing out these really emotionally driven films for entire families?
Man, well, I guess the question answers itself. um, I think a large part of it is there's all these great creative minds, but they're also very different in a lot of ways. And there's a collaboration that happens, a sort of balance of, I mean, especially if you look at the early Pixar movies, knowing all the players as I know them now, I can see it's sort of like a family where you have the shy brother and the outgoing brother and the funny and and when you put all those people together, you get this really great, you know, dynamic that somehow comes up with these great movies.
So for this short, 22 versus Earth, which obviously takes place in the Soul film universe, how early on do you guys decide that we're going to do a short for the film, or is it something that is based on audiences' reactions?
We do it earlier than audience reaction. It's more about in the past we usually do one that used to be attached to the DVD. It was almost like a DVD extra in a sense, and it gave us a chance to explore some part of the movie we didn't get a chance to explore. And this one falls into that sort of category where the discussions start toward the end of the movie, the last 6 months or year of the movie. You just start talking about doing one potentially, and then if a good enough idea comes up, you go ahead and pursue it. And in this case, we just had this, I mean, it was a perfect opportunity because we had this character 22 who, as we were making the movie, we kept having these conversations about where did she come from? How did she get this way? How do we make her, less cynical? And why is she different than these other little souls? So this was just a really nice way to be able to explore that idea.
Were there any other characters you maybe thought of doing a short for? I know that thinking about Soul, Moonwind came to mind. I thought a fun, fantastic, Fantasia type short with Terry maybe would have been fun, or even I thought one of the most interesting parts of the film was the one with the barber. There's so many. I know you guys have.
And there's a ton of ideas out there, and the ones that in this case that we sort of actively pursued, or at least started down the path, was Terry. And I mean, one idea I really liked was the cat lady and the cat, because I love cats, and but this one turned out to be at this time, this was the best one to go with. But certainly others aren't out of the realm of possibility. Yeah, I think the barber idea is a great idea.
So we're back with 22. What makes her such a great character?
To me, it's the juxtaposing her with these innocent souls. To me, is like what I always loved about her in the movie and in the short is, she's surrounded by pretty much pure innocence, and she's this somewhat cynical, worldly. I just think that dynamic has a lot of potential.
Absolutely. Do you think we maybe be seeing, is this the last we've seen of her, or are we going to maybe catch a glimpse of her in the future?
There's no concrete plans for anything ever, but I honestly don't know. I'd like to, but you never know.
So when you're working as a lead editor versus a director, how does your role change?
So, as an editor, basically you're dealing with material people are giving you to work with.
Okay.
And as a director, you're suddenly responsible for that material. And as an editor, it's very hands-on for me. As I'm working, I'm doing a lot of trying things. I have the liberty to sort of try things, and if they fail, nobody ever sees them. Or, as a director, now you have to have sort of a more clear idea of what you want and communicate that verbally, which was a whole new challenge for me. Like telling an editor where to cut, or I didn't tell Noah ever where to cut, but trying to communicate, in a way that you're going to get what you're looking for. That was a whole different world.
I know I maybe won't get an answer, but I can't help but ask, is there a feature Pixar film maybe in your future to direct?
There's no plan right now for that.
Okay, no problem. So tell me, being that you worked on this and so many others, I'm going to have to ask you this question because you left us hanging in the short. What is the meaning of life?
If I can't, the reason I don't answer it there is, the whole point of an exercise like that is to make people think about it for themselves. And I'm going to have to sort of dodge that with that answer here. Is whatever answer I give you, it's going to be my personal answer. And it's not, I don't know.
And obviously that's the point, because it sparked when I screen these, sometimes I have a young daughter, because that's the target audience. It's not necessarily a 32-year-old, but it sparks a conversation. What is the meaning of life? And depending on who you're watching it with, you're going to get, if you're watching with 4 people, you might get 4 different answers.
And that to me is the joy of working on a Pixar movie, is leaving those questions out there for people to think about. That's the greatest satisfaction I have with the job.
Yeah, definitely. It fills your cup a lot with entertainment, and at the same time with different ideas of different aspects of life. And I really like the way that I'm not sure what to call them, the kids though, in their pursuit for Armageddon, or Apocalypse, I'm sorry, they found different meanings in life, and I thought that was great. How was that storyline developed?
It was as written, and it's so true to life. That's how it works. You think you're going to do one thing and you end up doing another, or somebody's telling you this is the way to go, but you find your own way. I think it was just a natural evolution.
Absolutely. What do you hope audiences take away from 22 versus Earth?
I think that's exactly, to be open to that.
Definitely. Kevin, thank you so much for spending some time with me today.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Congratulations on your directorial debut and on a great short that no doubt adults and children alike are going to love.
Great. Thank you.
All right.